Welcome to the Moore Realtors Weekly St. Louis Real Estate Market Update. I'm Dennis Norman, one of the brokers at Moore, and if you'll give me a few minutes of your time, I'll bring you up to date on what's happening in the St. Louis housing market. Let's jump right in with the real estate news. Here are a few of the headlines from this week from St. Louis's best local source for news and information on the St. Louis real estate market. That's stlouisrealestatenews.com. First off, there's an article here from a local mortgage banker. Answers a question that many people are asking about how long you have to wait after having a foreclosure or short sale in order to get another home loan. A report on new home construction showing that we did have a rise in permits and construction in October, but it's still on track to be a record low year. Also from another mortgage banker, a update on St. Louis mortgage rates, as well as a helpful article explaining the types of loans that are available, and then a very good article from a local title insurance person. This land is your land, all about title insurance. Okay, now let's jump into the market and what's happening this past week. The first few slides here are on based upon the entire St. Louis metropolitan area, so the entire St. Louis MSA, and this is our real-time market profile. Real-time data on what's on the market right now. We can see the median home price of the homes on the market in the St. Louis area is $179,800. Some other stats there: median asking price per foot, $97 a foot. Average days on the market keeps growing. It's up to about 6 months now, and some other helpful data there. And if we go down to our trademarked market action index, it is at 15 this week. That's up from 14 last week. A little bit of encouragement there. A reminder on the market action index. This takes into account a lot of factors affecting the market: the inventory, the number of new listings versus expired listings, solds, percentage of sales, things like that, and scores the market. A 30 would indicate a perfectly balanced market, not favoring buyers or sellers. As it goes above 30, up to a maximum of 60, that's a hot market. And the higher the number, the hotter the market, the more it favors sellers. Conversely, as it goes down below 30, down to a low of 0, the lower it goes, the colder it is, and it favors buyers. And again, this past week we went from a 14 to a 15. This will show this chart shows the history of the market action index since it was first introduced in 2008. And we can see that it's taken quite a steep climb here recently over the last month or so, and we're not up at that high yet where it was above 16, but it's certainly headed the right direction. Now this will show, this is for the past year. This shows the median home prices for the St. Louis metropolitan area. The orange line is a average 90-day average of prices. The black line is a 7-day average of prices. So the orange line shows a more accurate long-term trend, but the black line, the 7-day average, is quicker to show a change in the trend. And we can see what it's done over the past year, dipping down to a low in the winter and then rising to a high in the summer, which we would expect. And then we can see the orange line, the long-term trend is headed downward. And while the short-term trend jumped up a couple of weeks ago, it's definitely heading downward. So it looks like prices could be easing. Now we're going to go into some data, some charts that are based upon. We're going to zoom in the market a little bit. These are based upon the what I call the core market of the St. Louis market. It's the 5 counties, which would include the city of St. Louis County, St. Charles County, Jefferson County, and Franklin County. So the 5 counties that make up the bulk of where the activity is in the St. Louis area. And here we have on this slide, this shows the number of sales. The blue columns represent the number of sales, and the green represents the average sales price. And we can see here September finished out October finished out as we'd expect, lower than September, and September lower than August. But for November so far, the sales data lags about a week or so. It takes agents about a week to get the sales data in. So this is not very representative of the market of the month yet, but we can see November's running probably a little bit behind October, and we can see as far as average sales prices, they dip down. Looks like October kind of leveled off, and again, we'll see what happens. So far, the trend is showing a little bit upward into November. Now this is a chart that shows the actual median prices that homes sold for in the past year and how long it took for them to sell. The green line represents the sales prices, blue line the time to sell. And we can see the green's been fluctuating around over the past year, again peaking in the summer and dipping down. But we can see here from September to October an ever so slight increase. So, and while it's showing a dip down into November, the November data is very preliminary. As far as days on market, we can see that it dipped to in the 60-something day range over the summer, but then is above the 80-day on the market range right now. This next slide, now this shows the ratio of sales price to list price for those homes that sold. And I look at this two ways. The blue line shows the ratio of the sales price to the list price at the time of sale. The green line shows the ratio of the sales price to what the original list price was when the house first hit the market. And this chart here is not an indicator of value. This is more a scorecard on how good a job listing agents are doing. And basically this gives a pretty poor score because we can see that consistently homes are selling for about 96% of what they were listed for at the time of the sale. But when we drop down to the green line, we can see that they're only selling for about 90% of what they were originally listed for. So that tells me that the homes are coming out on the market overpriced, that the listing agents either do not have the data available or don't know how to comprehend the data to really get their arms around this market, and it is complicated, and or they're not doing a very good job of communicating this to the sellers, and perhaps don't have the tools or the resources to back up what they're saying in a manner effective enough to convince sellers of what the true price is. And this is one of those things that we really stress to our agents within More and that we work with. We have tools and resources for data available that I don't think any other company in town has, and then we also have the ability to interpret this and present it in a clear form for or clear fashion for sellers to understand, because it's vital today that homes hit the market priced properly. When you're in a market with declining home prices, time is not your friend. Time is the enemy. So you want to hit the market priced right to start with. And same thing as a buyer, to really understand what a fair price is today, you need these tools as well. And again, we just love the opportunity to show you, whether you're a buyer or a seller or an investor, how these resources that we have, this experience and the knowledge that we have and that our people have, how that comes into play for you. Now moving along, this is a long-term look at the market. This is shows the historic median list price and sales price trend for this 5-county area for the past 10 years. Blue line represents list prices, green line sales prices. We see what's happened over the past 10 years. Both peaked in '06, the height of the housing boom, or the bubble, if you will, and they've trailed off since. Now, we can see this gap between median list price and median sales prices is widening, which again is a poor indicator of how accurately homes are being priced. And we can see here, if we look at the median sales price where it's at now, if we draw a line straight across, we're back to about where prices were in '02. All right, and what I've given you here is just a very quick look at the market here in St. Louis, and we have at More, we have the ability to produce market data for you for any market here. We can bring this down to subdivision level, street level, whatever. We have a variety of charts and whatnot to help you understand the market. You can see in the upper right hand corner here, if I go back to it, we have an electronic newsletter that comes out monthly that's packed with some real good market data and useful information. You can subscribe to that on our website at mo-re.com. You can also subscribe to market reports for your area, for any municipality throughout the area, and receive them automatically weekly through our website at mo-re.com. That's mo like Missouri, ST-LOUIS-RE, like realestate.com. You can also subscribe to our newsletter on at St. Louis Real Estate News. Go to stlouisrealestatenews.com, and in the upper right-hand corner you'll see a box to subscribe. And this video market update, you may be watching this on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/morerealtors, or you can catch it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/morerealtors, and it has a lot of useful information on it. Or over to the left you can see video market update. Or you can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, and go to iTunes, to the iTunes store, search St. Louis Real Estate Market Update, look for our little logo here with the arch, and you can subscribe. And finally, there's myself and my partner John Williams. Us and our team here are here ready to help you with whatever your real estate needs are. You can contact me directly at 314-332-1012, or John at 314-414-4114. Email either one of us. I'm Dennis at mo-re.com, just like the website, or John at mo-re.com. And here's the legal disclaimer stuff. You can read that at your leisure. And that's it for this week. So until next week, God bless you. Have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you next week.